Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bandit's Den. Today, I want to talk about a subject that most likely doesn't interest most of you because this is a tangent journey in my life that I'm undertaking that most of you, I don't think, are undertaking. Um, but hopefully, somebody this does interest chances across my video and at least stays a while and listens to my opinion on the matter. And don't let this video make you believe that I'm some kind of Puritan or like some kind of vegan supremacist or some shit. Any amount of progress is good progress. Taking on a vegan diet is huge progress, but we can always take things a step further. We can actually go vegan instead of, just eating a vegan diet. And this video is all about the difference between the two. All right? Me, I consider myself vegan. A lot of people are just on a vegan diet. We'll talk about this more later. What inspired me to make this video was there were these two chicks I was arguing with, mostly one chick that I was arguing with on a Discord server for vegans. And a guy ended up making a video about it. He agrees with me for the most part, except for one part. But everything else he agrees with me on. These chicks seem to believe that they can call themselves vegans, but still go out and adopt cats, which couldn't be any further from the truth. They have fooled themselves. And this guy agrees with me on this point. Where he disagrees with me is on whether or not you can feed cats a vegan diet and have them still be healthy. Well, their digestive system isn't as evolved for an omnivore diet as dogs are. So, in my opinion, it's not scientifically proven, but in my opinion, cats need to eat meat. Dogs don't have to, because they're omnivores. They ate from our dumps. But the whole purpose of cats, why humans came to know cats, is because cats were kept around in order to eat all the vermin that are around, right? Dogs, they just started eating out of our dumps and were like, hey, what's up, homie? I'm eating your trash. And so they developed digestive systems that are good for eating our trash, which back then was mostly plant foods. Back in the day, when people were a little healthier, most of our diets was plant foods. There's little tiny portions of meat, maybe. Before refrigeration, there wasn't much meat consumption at all. I mean, most of it was plant goods because they kept longer. I mean, you get 3 pounds of steak. Where the fuck are you going to put it when you don't have a refrigerator? Well, you better eat it all tonight. So, anyways, tangent over. Yeah, these chicks seem to believe that they can call themselves vegans, but still go out and adopt cats. They call it rescuing cats. They rescue these cats in order to condemn other animals to death in order to feed to the cats. Because, cat food has salmon and chicken and veal and fucking lamb and shit in it. It has other animals in it. So by adopting a cat, you're condemning lots of other animals to death. How much a cat eats in their lifetime, I would guess, if you don't feed it fish, you're condemning at least 5 animals to death. How much your cat eats in its lifetime. So adopt one animal and condemn 5 to death. Well, what a good person you are, right? So, it's unfortunate for cats that my opinion is you can't be vegan and adopt cats. It's not the cat going to the store and buying animal products and feeding it to themselves. No, it's you. The cat doesn't have a job. The cat doesn't have a bank account. The cat can't go walk into a store and buy itself some lamb. You're the one that has to pull the trigger on that. You're the one that has to adopt the cat in the first place and then go to the store and choose to purchase lamb or salmon or whatever the fuck for your cat and feed it to your cat. It's all your decision. You are choosing to support animal agriculture still. So the definition of vegan is to, as much as reasonably possible, if you can completely, that's great, reduce your use and consumption of animal products. Well, reasonably possible. means, if you don't have to have it, then don't get it. Or if there is a vegan alternative, then get that instead. There are vegan alternative pets. My dogs, for example, have been on a vegan diet, and they're fine. I get them vegan kibble that is specifically engineered for dogs to keep them happy, healthy, and strong. And look at Klaus. I mean, for the last 9 months, he's been on a vegan diet. He looks pretty fucking big and healthy to me. Actually, he's a little bit too big. I'm thinking of reducing his food a little bit. He's getting a little fat, especially for summer. He gets too hot. So, not only that, but there's rats, gerbils, mice, goats if you live in a rural area. There's plenty, rabbits. There's plenty of animals that you can buy if you just have to have a pet. There's plenty of animals that you can go and get and hopefully source ethically instead of, buying purebred rabbits from some guy that breeds rabbits and, kills all of the ones that are genetically inferior or whatever. Go and get one from someone who has to move and can't take their rabbits with them or some shit. Keep that rabbit from getting euthanized. So, there's plenty of vegan alternative pets to cats. You don't have to have a fucking cat. All right? Now, there is one stipulation. If you owned a cat, I believe, this is my belief, if you own a cat before you went vegan, and you believe like I do that cats need to eat meat, and then you went vegan, and you realize what kind of damage you're doing to the world, well, it's really difficult to get rid of that cat, right? It's kind of a paradox. What the fuck do you do, right? I believe it's probably okay to just let that cat live the rest of its life, just like I do with my boots, essentially. Let that cat live a long, happy life and die, and just don't get another fucking cat, all right? Get a different kind of pet. One that is vegan compliant. But like my work boots, I still wear leather boots. But since I went vegan, I haven't gone out and bought more leather boots. There are vegan alternatives. I'm just waiting for these to completely wear out before I go and buy a vegan alternative boot. So it's okay, I think, for me to wear leather boots that I bought before I went vegan. I mean, what's the sense in throwing them out? It is unfortunate for the cow that this leather is made out of that I'm still wearing its skin on my feet to protect them. It's unfortunate and very gross. It is pretty disgusting. I think about it almost every day I put them on. And it's cruel. It's terrible. But, I'm wearing them until they wear out, and I'm going to go buy a vegan alternative and throw these away when I'm done. Because there are vegan alternative work boots. Believe it or not, there are vegans who work construction, including myself. And we do need work boots. And people realize that vegan compliant work boots can sell. And so they make them. That's what I'm going to buy. These informed decisions are what people need to be making in order to call themselves vegans. Me, you know what kind of soap I use? I use this, I forget what the brand is because it's some fucking off-brand from the dollar store. And it's this stuff, it's $1 a box, really. I'm looking at some Dove soap right now. Dove is not vegan. It has animal products in it. All right? I'm looking at it right now, 8 bars for $11, 8 bars for $9, 8 bars for $8.97, 8 bars for $16.19. So all these animal product soaps are more expensive than my vegan alternative. I go to the dollar store and they have vegan compliant soap there. It's even marked as vegan, showing that, it doesn't have any animal products in it. It's all like vegetable glycerin or something. And these are huge fucking bars too that I get. And they smell good. They have lots of different scents and they have different ingredients in case you're sensitive to one kind of bar, you could have the other one. And this stuff works great. And then they're cheaper than the animal product ones. So I buy those. These people who think you can adopt cats and still be vegan most likely still use shit like Dove. And, they probably use deodorant still like Mitchum and shit like that. That stuff is not vegan. It has animal products in it. I buy vegan alternative deodorants that cost just as much as non-vegan deodorants. I have no idea why these products need to have animals in them. I have no idea. And it's amazing. Now that I'm here and awake, I can see, all these unnecessary inclusions of animal products. But I still consider myself vegan, even though I drive a vehicle and I have a cell phone. If you guys didn't know, there's a thin layer of lipids or something between two screens that help make it a touch screen, in addition to other things like some really malleable metal or some shit. It's really thin. Hi, Klaus. Yeah, I'm making a vegan video. Yeah, buddy. All right, and I'm aware that tires have animal products in them. I buy used tires that were going to go to the dump anyways. Not only that, but I need transportation for my industry. I need transportation because of the region I live in that doesn't really have public transportation. And besides, I would still be using public transportation anyways, which is still supporting, the inclusion of animal products in the tires of the bus. But yeah, I'm aware tires have animal products in them. It's unfortunate. Some don't, some do, but manufacturers don't have to disclose that. Same thing with cell phones. Some don't, some do use animal products. Manufacturers don't have to disclose that because you're not eating it. All right? So they don't have to tell you what exactly goes into making a phone or making your tires. So you never know if you're getting vegan compliant products in this area or not. Maybe someday they'll disclose that. Maybe I'll never see it before I die. That would be cool if I see it. Because, some countries are booming with veganism. I think 18% of Israel is vegetarian and another 10% or something is vegan. It's huge. Almost a quarter of their population is for mostly moral reasons going with a different diet. Anyways, all this aside, those girls I was arguing with, they can certainly say that they eat a vegan diet because I have no doubt in my mind that they do. I have no doubt in my mind that they are careful to avoid cheese and careful to avoid natural red food coloring, which is made out of crushed beetles, and go with petrochemical alternatives because most stuff that has that coloring in it is junk food anyway. Who cares if it's synthetic or natural flavoring? It's probably garbage what you're eating that's dyed red anyway. It's candy or some kind of cake or something, right? I have no doubt in my mind that they're careful to make sure their diet is vegan. But that's as far as I would go if I was them. I wouldn't say I'm a vegan. I highly doubt these chicks, because they believe you can be vegan but still buy fuckloads of dead animals to feed your cat. Since they believe that, I have no doubt in my mind they haven't done their research on soap and deodorant and stuff. Me, I really fucking care about animals. I really give a shit, which is why I did all my research on this stuff. It's easy to find. It's just look it up. Is Mitchum deodorant vegan? The answer is no, it's not. Look it up. Is Dove soap vegan? No, that's the answer. You fucking look it up on the internet. It's easy because these manufacturers of that stuff, well, it goes on your body. So they got to disclose it in some way or another, whether what's in it. They have to disclose active and inactive ingredients. So, all the products that are potentially not vegan compliant that I have are things that I need. Cell phone, my truck tires, and whatever is in the plastic that made my computer. I need a computer to get by in the modern world. This is an argument a lot of people use against me and really actually want to use in order to get me out of the public eye. They don't want to see a guy that's nice and strong and healthy on a vegan diet, being a vegan, and working construction, and going with vegan alternatives and all this shit. They don't want anybody to see that because it's threatening to their daily life. It's threatening to how they perceive the world. People are comfortable in their little fucking bubbles, and they don't want anything to be challenged. They want to believe that there is a compassionate way to kill an animal when it doesn't want to die. They want to live their lives and believe that. And so, when it comes down to it, some of the more informed people that I argue with on a day-to-day basis will tell me, well, why don't you stop driving? Why don't you stop using any form of transportation, including bicycles, Why don't you get rid of your cell phone? Stop using the internet. Don't have a computer. Why don't you just fucking disappear? Zangotti. That's essentially what they want. They want me to disappear and stop talking about this kind of stuff. Which is not what I'm going to do. Yeah, I could do my research and move out into the middle of nowhere and never talk to anybody ever again and farm the land and live off of a vegan diet and just eat what the squirrels and shit are eating. All the squirrels and birds, watch what they're eating. When my crops are done growing, survive off of tree nuts and grass and stuff. I could probably do that, but am I going to? No, because I'm fully aware that society can eventually change. And this is another thing that blows my mind about omnivores. I'll have a discussion with them, and they fully agree with me. I used to fucking hate vegans, right? There was a reason why I disagreed with them, because I thought they were pussies and little bitches and stupid and uneducated, when in reality, I was the insecure one. I was the scared one. I was the uninformed one and uneducated. All right, I didn't look into this stuff. And I was afraid of my perception of reality and how the world works and what I can and can't do with my life. I didn't want that perception shattered. So I just tried to shut down and think every negative thing I could about every vegan I ever encountered, so that I didn't have to fucking think about it. Right? But there are omnivores that will sit down and have a discussion with me and agree with me about how terrible it is that we kill animals and all this stuff. But they won't change. They'll tell me something like, oh, well, there isn't enough accommodation for me in modern society to go vegan, or something like that. They'll pass the buck. They'll blame it on the rest of society. But the thing is, I'm happy and healthy. When I first started my vegan diet, it was costing me around $30 a week, because I was eating mostly beans and rice and vegetables and fruit. I was eating a whole food vegan diet. And then I got lazy, and I started realizing, I make an excess of money, and I'm fucking lazy. And, I don't care if I eat unhealthy food. So I eat a lot of processed foods now that cost more. So my grocery bill is more like $100 on average a week, which is fucking high. It doesn't have to be that high as a vegan. As a vegan, it can actually be lower than it would cost you if you were eating fish and meat and eggs and all this garbage. All right? But me, I just choose an expensive route. I pamper myself in some unhealthy ways, and, I eat fucking garbage because it's convenient or whatever. Garbage that costs a lot. But a study was just released today that vegetarians, not even vegans, vegetarians who drink and smoke heavily are on average still healthier than the average omnivore, the average meat eater, which is interesting, isn't it? They studied like 165,000 people or 175,000 people or something and averaged them out. Pretty cool. So I can vape heavily and not drink and be vegan and still be way healthier than the average omnivore. Imagine that. Of course, I'm not going to go back to drinking. That's why I didn't say that. I could drink and smoke heavily. Nah, drinking isn't for me anymore. But, so Yeah, that's the thing I don't understand, and I tell them. I try to change their mind about it. Like, you don't need accommodation. Look at me. I'm fucking doing it. It's fucking easy for me now that I got used to it and I see the world in a different way. I've changed my world perspective and now it's a lot easier for me to do. It's just a part of my life now. Looking out for animal products, and well, if something doesn't agree with my morals, I just don't fucking buy it. Just like I told you guys a long time ago about diamonds. I disagree with diamonds. It's impossible to trace diamonds and make sure that they were, acquired in your country or in some country that doesn't have child soldiers. It's never a guarantee that your diamond that you bought your fiance didn't come from, some child soldier's dead body in Africa. They can't guarantee ever that diamond didn't come to you as the result of a child getting murdered. All right? So I've always refused to buy diamonds. Ever since I turned 18, I've been strongly opposed to diamonds. Jewelry diamonds. Industrial diamonds are mined domestically. That's fine. But jewelry diamonds, yeah. A lot of children die and suffer because of those things. So I've always been against them. So am I going to go buy a diamond? Of course I'm not. I don't have to have a diamond. You don't have to have animal products. It's fucking easy. Just go do it. Or just don't go do it. Don't go buy animal products. It's that fucking simple. If something disagrees with you and you don't have to have it, then don't fucking buy it. But I tell these omnivores, I tell them, what I realized? That before I could point at the world, this is what I learned. Before I point at the world and tell it it's fucked up, I need to clean up my shit. So now in the area of consumption of animal products and needless destruction of environments and all this shit, I can point at the world now because I changed as much as I can in my daily activities. I upped my recycling. I turn in my recycling bin twice as much as I turn in my trash bin because I recycle like fuck. I recycle every little thing I can. Even this pen will go into recycling because it's made out of plastic when it runs out. I don't want to waste anything. I give a fuck. And I don't consume animal products. The animal agriculture industry is the single largest industry, including personal transportation. Personal transportation is outpaced by animal agriculture as far as how much havoc it's wreaking on our environment. You want to complain about greenhouse gases? Well, the single biggest thing you could do to combat greenhouse gases is go vegan. And so quit fucking bitching and go fucking do it. Eat some beans and rice instead of steak. Don't complain to me about climate change. I eat a vegan diet. Not only that, I don't just eat a vegan diet, I'm also vegan. So these chicks, they're not vegans. They adopt cats. They most likely don't do their research on what kind of soap, shampoo, deodorant they use. They took up a vegan diet and now call themselves vegans without changing anything else about their fucking life or their world perspective or anything. That's not how it works. Yeah, you can take your diet from us vegans and adopt it as your diet. That's cool. You eat a vegan diet. That's cool. But if you don't change anything else about your life, you're not a fucking vegan. If you keep adopting fucking cats, you're not a vegan. You still eat a vegan diet, I'm sure. I'm not going to take that away from you. And that's really cool, as a matter of fact. It's really cool that you have a vegan diet. But you could go vegan, not get any more cats and let these get retired, Just hang up the whole cat thing. And I don't mean retired by, how the animal agriculture industry calls it retiring when they fucking shoot cows in the head. When a cow doesn't produce milk anymore, they retire her. That means fucking murder her. When a chicken doesn't produce eggs anymore, they retire the chicken. They fucking cut her head off. I don't mean that kind of retirement. Just let your cat grow old and die of old age and don't fucking get another one. Use your brain. Get a different kind of animal. Alright? All animals are fucking cool. You don't have to get a cat. Totally unnecessary. You also don't have to pay more for a bar of soap that has animal products in it than you would have paid for a bar of soap that is vegan. You don't have to do that. You also don't have to not do your research. You can definitely do your fucking research on this shit. Don't be an idiot. Don't be lazy. If you really care about something, do your fucking research. And me, I did my research on the diet, alright? I make sure I'm good and healthy. And I'm fucking happy and healthy for sure. I'm sure you guys can see the proof in front of you that I'm not fucking emaciated. I'm not fat as hell. Alright? I did my research on what it takes to be a healthy vegan. Alright? And that's because I don't want people having the misconception that, vegans are all emaciated and skinny and they all look unhealthy and stuff. I look as healthy, maybe even healthier than I used to. Look at me. I look fucking good. Alright? I see myself as a diplomat because I am by far the minority of the population. I'm a part of the 3% of America that is vegan. The other 97% of people who see me and know I'm vegan, I would like them to be able to look at me and be incapable of telling me that I look very unhealthy on the outside because of my vegan diet. And nobody has told me that shit. I've been around the same people for a whole fucking year while I'm going through my vegan transition thing, transition, whatever, you guys know what I'm talking about. My transition was overnight, just like fucking that. I woke up one morning and was like, that's it, I'm fucking doing it. Went out, went shopping, got rid of all my fucking animal products out of my kitchen, replaced everything else, and then started doing research on other things immediately. Like when I had to buy more soap, I did my research. I used to use Irish Spring. I looked up, is Irish Spring soap vegan compliant? No, it's not. So what do? I don't use fucking Irish Spring anymore. Because I disagree with them ethically now. I don't fuck with Irish Spring anymore. I used to wear, as shitty as it sounds, I know it's a stupid brand because they're stupid commercials. I used to wear Old Spice deodorant. I looked it up when I was in the deodorant aisle after I went vegan. The first time I went shopping for deodorant as a vegan. You know what I did? I looked up on my phone. Is this a vegan product, what I've been using this whole fucking time? No! Old Spice is not fucking vegan compliant. And so you know what I did? I went with a vegan alternative that cost just as much. Alright? It's fucking simple. Use your brains. Don't be fucking lazy. If you really care about something, do your fucking research. This is why I came across two really intelligent gentlemen that talked about Norse paganism. I was fucking serious about it. And I looked through a lot of people who I found to be full of shit. And I found these other two guys. One of them is a paleontologist or whatever. Or whatever, yeah. Paleontologist, I don't know. One of them digs up remains of civilizations and analyzes them. Then the other one is a historian and whatever else. I don't know. He's studying something. I don't know, whatever. But they're two very smart guys, and they give the historical account instead of what's written in books by people who weren't around during the time. People who have some idea about what the gods might be telling them today. Those people are full of shit. All right? Actual historical accounts is what I'm interested in because I'm fucking serious about the real thing. All right? I'm not interested in some label that makes me feel good. All right? I was interested in paganism for a long time because it's what made sense to me. I was interested in veganism for like a year or something before I actually went vegan because it interested me. And then it became so important to me, both things became so important to me that I decided to go that route with my life. Because I decided it was fucking important to me. And that I might have problems later in life if I don't fucking address this right now. Because it was eating me inside. The fact that I wasn't vegan. I wasn't doing what I could to save these fucking animals. Instead, I was paying people money to kill these animals, to raise them, to artificially inseminate them, have animals give birth to them, raise them under shitty conditions, and then fucking put a bullet in their head so that they could end up on my fucking dinner plate when I didn't have to. So it became fucking important to me. Like, I told you guys about the pizza. That pizza, I realized, I was like, this has 3 different processed pigs on it. 3 different kinds of processed pig on it. It had like bacon, sausage, and pepperoni. 3 different processes of pigs on it. And I was like, this pig, one of the pigs on here, could have been a really good friend of mine. If instead of eating it, I chose to be its friend. But here I am sitting here eating part of its corpse like a fucking asshole. And I felt fucking terrible about it. This was a long time before I went vegan. It was months, maybe even a year before I went vegan. And ever since I realized that, I was like, fuck, every time I ate animal products, I felt like shit. Not until later did I realize how many animal products are all around us. And of course, it's obvious. Your cat's food has animal products in it. It says salmon or lamb or whatever on it. It's made of dead animals. And you paid for it. Again, the stipulation. If you already had a cat and then you went vegan, okay, I give you a pass on that. As long as you don't plan on getting any more cats. But if you went vegan and then you got a cat or got another cat, that doesn't make any fucking sense to me. And you cannot call yourself vegan. I have a friend whose sister describes herself as a vegan, but she's only vegan sometimes because she eats fish pretty often. I don't know how many times a week, but more than once a week she eats fish. She would be described as a pescatarian. She eats fish. Not any other animal products, maybe, but she eats fish. But she calls herself a vegan despite that. That is incorrect. She is not a vegan. She's not even eating a vegan diet. For all intents and purposes, she's not even eating a vegan diet. I can't even give her that title. Oh yeah, good job, you're eating a vegan diet. No. I had to take that away from her when I was talking to him, and he got upset. It's like, well, sorry, but your sister isn't doing what she should be. If she wants to be a fucking vegan, first thing you need to do is adopt a vegan diet. That's the very first thing you need to fucking do, is stop eating the fucking fish. Alright? Those fish have brains. They just wanted a fucking worm. Or they just wanted to eat whatever the fuck. Or they were just swimming around and all of a sudden a net swooped them up. They were enjoying their little fishy lives until us assholes intervened and fucking murdered them. Not only that, but it destroys the fucking ocean. It destroys lakes, destroys the ocean, destroys every environment we touch when we go fishing. So enough of that. Quit eating the fucking fish. Not to mention, the human rights concerns in the fishing industry. The industry with the industry with the most slave labor in it is the fishing industry. You ever eat seafood? Well, there's a 1 in 5 chance that the fish you ate was caught using slave labor. Literal slave labor. Like they're out at sea, there's no police around, and the people, their shift is over or whatever, but they're forced to work for free. You know? Actual fucking slave labor got you that fish 1 in 5 times. You know, and that's a really optimistic estimate. That only 20% of fish caught is caught with slave labor or illegally caught. You know, there's a lot of illegal catches, lots of slave labor. There's all this good shit going on in the fishing industry. If you want to be a shithead, go eat some fish, for sure. You know, now that I told you, there are huge problems, maybe even more moral issues, especially concerning humans, in the fishing industry than any other animal agriculture industry. Now that you know that, and you go and eat some fish, what the fuck is wrong with you, you know? Think about it, at least. At least think about it next time you're biting into that orange roughy or whatever. You know, that was my favorite fish back in the day, other than swordfish. Swordfish was good too. But I don't have to eat it. I can find pleasure in other foods, most definitely. I don't really even miss it. I mean, sometimes I recall how good this or that was to me at the time. Nowadays, I'd probably find it to be repulsive. Really. Because it's been so long since I've had those foods, it would probably be gross to me. So, and it would probably mess up my gut. The bacteria in my gut are used to eating good, clean plant foods, you know? Stuff that's not decaying and rotting inside of me. So anyways, end rant, I guess. I have a meeting I need to go to. So I appreciate you guys joining me on this long video. I intended to stop at around 20 minutes, but I ended up ranting more. And now my dogs are starting to misbehave and fight each other, so I definitely need to go. I hope you guys enjoyed my stream of consciousness and my opinion on this matter. Maybe I am a little bit of a vegan supremacist, but seriously, if you're not doing everything you can think of, if you're not doing as much as you can to save animals' lives, you can't really call yourself a vegan. Even if you're doing it for environmental concerns and not necessarily for the animals' lives. If you're concerned for the environment, same thing. Can't call yourself vegan. You know, can't call yourself vegan. This is about the animals, all of those who were lost that could have been my friends. And I think about it sometimes that 70 billion potential friends are killed every year. Isn't that sad and unfortunate? And that's just land animals. 70 billion a year worldwide are slaughtered when they could have just been our friends instead. Think about that. Well, have a good one, guys. I'll leave you with that grim thought. Quit eating your friends. Later.